So I'm with Carmen Emmi, filmmaker behind Plainclothes. First off, the conversation. A lot of people talk about Coppola as a great visualist director, but he's also, as you know, a great writer. For people who are just trying to get their screenplay made, why was the conversation such a very pivotal part for you as a writer yourself? What made it stand out that you made it read it over and over again and it helped you kind of pen your screenplays well?
I think it was just an amazing study of paranoia and maybe in some senses perfectionism and how that can distance you from others. I thought that was really beautiful in that script. I mean, reading the conversation and just like watching it and rewatching it taught me how to write. And same with Vertigo. I watched Vertigo in the conversation around the same time. But I think what I took away from the conversation was how powerful, was how you could get into someone's head. I thought Coppola did that really well with the character of Harry Call. And I wanted to do that. I wanted to bring that to a story about policing your feelings.
Yeah, this is a very special film. You're the writer and director. For people who ask you, what's the key to doing an indie 18-day shoot as the writer and director? Was this something that you always knew you were going to do as a child, or is it something that you kind of grew into because what you did is it's a pretty tall feat. So,
I wanted to make movies since I was 10. I didn't know I wanted to make features. I just knew I liked expressing myself through my high eight camera as a kid. And I think starting when I was like 16 and I saw Little Miss Sunshine in the movie theaters, I knew that I wanted to make features. So I guess in some ways it was always something I wanted to do. In terms of navigating an 18-day shoot, I would say just prepare as much as possible and be ready to throw everything out on the day and trust your actors and trust your script because that will see you through. But there's 18 days is tough. I definitely don't want to do that again. I'm very grateful that I had this opportunity. Yeah.
as far as seeing your project through, how important was Emily Wells as far as your creative journey as well? I love that song, My San Francisco. And can you just talk about that extra layer to your film and collaborating with her?
Oh yeah, I'm very musically driven. So when I was writing Plainclothes, even before I started watching movies, I was listening to music and I made this playlist over the course of 8 years where I would pick songs that I feel like would represent what my characters went through. And I actually shared that playlist with my crew before we shot, and I also played it on set so that the actors could get into the mindset of the scene, get into the emotion of the scene a little bit more easily and maybe a little bit more subconsciously. Emily Wells and I met right before I shot, but I thought she was too cool to work with me. I was like, I don't think she's gonna be down for this. I could be cringy, but she really loved the script and we really just got along. And when Eric was editing the film, I had a 4 or 5 week break while our editor was editing the film. And I would just go on long hikes and listen to Emily's music. And I would just send them to Eric. And I was like, try Remind Me to Remember in the middle when he's having his panic attack, or try this cue that Symphony 5 was a surprise in the beginning of the film. And slowly but surely, I was like, I need to ask Emily to work on this movie. And she did. And she even let us use some of her existing songs. And she wrote a song for us for the film. And that's played during the credits called My San Francisco. And it was amazing to explore these characters musically with Emily. And I just can't wait to work with her again. Yeah.
And we mentioned the conversation at the beginning of the interview. Also, in your past interviews, you were talking about how when you found out that your story wasn't from point A to point B, because none of our lives are really like that. We live in so many different stages. And you talked about the idea of free writing. Can you just elaborate on that and how that helps shape your characters and maybe free you as an artist as far as just venturing forth and finishing your screenplay?
Yeah, I mean, this is my first screenplay, so I was learning how to write it, and learning how to write as I went along, and I did imagine it as like kind of a traditional narrative, and for some reason, it just wasn't really capturing the anxiety and the fragmentation that I think happens to your memory when you go through a trauma, and I really wanted the film overall to reflect how policing your feelings can affect your memory. And I remember laying on my floor in my apartment and thinking about Christopher Nolan's films and how he handled time. And I started realizing, oh my gosh, like, I don't have to tell this story in a linear way. It can actually reflect how it feels. And ever since I had that mindset, it kind of blossomed from there. And I'm really grateful for Christopher Nolan's work for sure.
Carmen, final question to you is you've mentioned Judy Garland and The Wizard of Oz as movie that you really loved, performer you really loved. But can you also, for our listeners, give us, after Plainclothes, give us another personal movie recommendation from your own brain? And what is it about this movie that is so special to you? And thank you for your time.
Oh yeah. So any movie that
Any movie, just something that really is personal to you. You mentioned some great movies, Vertigo, The Conversation, so many
yeah.
great things, but just something that's really resonates with you still. I know it's hard. I apologize.
No, I know there's so many movies that come to mind, but I'm trying to think of what I okay, well, I mean, A Little Miss Sunshine is forever something that will always resonate with me because I feel so seen when I watch it. I've been listening a lot to I've been flying around a lot to promote this movie, which is amazing. And on every airplane, I always end up watching Little Women, the Greta Gerwig version, because I really love the idea of ownership and owning your work and really claiming that energy like her character does in the film. And that's been really resonating with me lately. And it's I think the way that she told that story of Little Women was really genius, and it's very inspiring to me. Yeah.
And as you're leaving, very quick question. Are there more screenplays in your desk? And then now, because of all the success you've received from this film, have you become more of a prolific writer? And yeah.
I feel like I'm living what my next film is going to be about right now, to be honest. And I've been free writing for the past 3 months, but I don't have a script ready yet. But I have been reading a lot of scripts. My goal was always to be a director, not to be a writer, and I kind of fell in love with the writing process through doing this. So I definitely want to write again, but I think my next one is probably going to be something that's written by someone else. Yeah.
Thank you so much. I really love Plainclothes. Is this a really surreal moment because it's such great acting, such a great story, and getting the awards at Sundance? Do you feel is it a surreal moment, or did you feel that this was almost in the cards for you?
I had no idea if I would get into Sundance or not. So it has, for the past 9 months, I feel like I have been operating in an alternate reality that I'm just starting to like come back down in some ways. Not down, but I'm trying to enjoy this moment, but it certainly does feel not real. Yeah. Yeah. And I'm thankful that people are going to be able to see it in movie theaters.
Thanks again, Carmen, for your time. Really great job on Plainclothes, and congratulations to you and your crew as well.
Thank you, Greg. Thank you so much.
Hey guys, thanks so much for watching this video. For more movie and television reviews and interviews, please subscribe to my Deepest Dream channel. Like, comment, share, subscribe. And as always, thanks so much for your support. Take care.